I'm Jax Mackey, and I'm taking this cargo truck and turning it into a tiny living space. And in today's video, I'm going to recap what I've done so far and talk about what my current and future plans are. So far, everything I've built and filmed took place in September, October, November of 2021. I don't have an indoor workspace to be able to put this van in, so I wasn't able to work over the winter here in Wisconsin, so I took that time off. Currently, it is the beginning of May 2022, and I am just getting my feet wet back into the build and back into filming. So without any real editing experience, I started putting together these van build videos in early January. Now, I'm using a program called DaVinci Resolve, and I wanted to take some care because I didn't really want to burn myself out on trying to learn how to use it, but I still wanted to try to put together something that was, reasonably decent in quality. So it's a slow process. I'm still learning, and I hope in the future that the videos will, become better edited, if you will. I wasn't exactly sure how many episodes I was going to get out of last fall's footage, but as it turns out, the magic number was 18. I do want to take a minute and say thanks to my friends Dragoness, Terrell, and Quirky for looking over my videos before I released them and alerting me to some issues that I needed to address. So again, thank you, huge thank you to you guys for taking the time and looking after me like that, so appreciate it. So this is a 2017 Ford E350 with a Unicel fiberglass body. Now, one of the reasons why I chose this vehicle is because of the style of the body and as well as the potential headroom. Now, I'm 6'5". I am wearing work boots, but as you can see, I don't have full standing height in here, and in a regular type of van, it's going to be significantly less. Now, if I was 5 foot even, it wouldn't be a problem at all, but I wanted something that gave me as much headroom as I possibly could get to keep a small form factor in the vehicle. Now, I began this project by removing all the factory steel supports. One, they were going to be difficult to mount things to, and two, they weren't really in the locations that made things easy for me to modify, such as putting in the door and the windows. Now, I replaced the steel framing with fiberglass reinforced 2x2s. The walls and the ceiling are both insulated with a real wool product made by Havelock Wool. The walls are sheathed in 1/2-inch plywood, and the ceiling I used shiplap. So I've got some custom-made upper cabinets. They're set down in the rear to allow for the garage door to open, and then they increase in height towards the front of the vehicle over where the galley is. The galley cabinet is also a custom built cabinet set. There's going to house a fridge freezer combo. There'll be an induction cooktop here, some space, and then a utility sink right here. In addition to those storage spaces, we have this cab over area where I insulated and fitted out with some plywood, and this will be a nice storage area as well. So we've got a full-size stand-up shower. It's about 30 inches by 48 inches, and this will double as a bathroom, as it'll house my composting toilet. I've got a watertight hatch here that will allow me to access the cab over area for any toiletries that I might need. So these are the bench seats. There's one on each side of the vehicle. This side over here on the passenger side is going to house all of the electrical, the batteries, the inverter charger, and various electrical components like the breaker panels for both the 12 volt and 120 volt systems. Over on the driver's side, we have another storage area where it houses the water tank and the pump system. Additional storage here is accommodated for specifically for the tables. I have a segmented, three-piece segmented table set that can be folded and put in here for storage to make this a large open space. All right, so let me briefly talk to you about the freshwater and the gray water systems. I won't need a black water system because of the composting toilet, so I won't have to worry about that. The gray water is essentially just, you know, clean water that's been used, mild soaps, washing dishes, so on and so forth. That's going to be put in a tank that's going to be mounted underneath the truck. It's going to be on the driver's side, almost directly underneath this cabinet area here. And that's going to, there'll be a drain through the floor for the sink, and then the shower drain will plumb over underneath the vehicle over to the gray water tank as well. And then there'll be a valve down there to empty it. Now the freshwater system, we have two separate systems here. We have a tank system with a pump and an accumulator, and then we have a city water system. Now the city water system is separated from the tank system with check valves. So when you're using the city water system, the water specifically comes in through this valve and goes in and then gets teed off down here, and there's a check valve that prevents the water going back into the tank, but then allows it to go back over to here and into the various systems down here. Now when we're using the tank, it's basically the same system, same thing. We've got the tank bulk fill comes into here, which fills this 30-gallon tank, and then it exits out down here, and then again goes in through the pump, through an accumulator, and then there's this check valve right here that prevents the water to go to the city water side, and then it goes through and back up and over here to the various systems. So under the sink here, we've got a couple of kits. One is a small hot water tank. This goes in. This is cold water to the sink. This is cold water to the shower. Then out of here is your hot water. So then we have a hot water out to the sink, and then a hot water out to the shower. And those lines run up right here and then come over to the shower head and whatnot. Still needs to be fit and finished in here to accommodate, but otherwise the plumbing is run. Now the second system under the sink here is a reverse osmosis system for drinking water. Now, I wanted to include this in the build because I wasn't sure where I was going to get my water from, and I just wanted to make sure that I had good, clean, fresh, water to drink from. So what happens is the cold water comes into this tube and then into this filter set. Now it takes a considerable amount of time to prime this system. So it goes through 3 stages of filtration and then these membranes. And then from there, this black line is what you drink from. So this will go up to a faucet on the sink, specifically for drinking water. Now this yellow line here, basically what it does is it comes up and it fills this tank. And this is a pressure tank. So what this will do is we'll fill up with about 1 gallon or 2 of drinking water, and it'll be pressurized. So that way when you want to drink some water, it doesn't necessarily need to run the main pump to push it through. It does take some time to filter this water, so in terms of gallons per minute, it's quite low. The flow is. It's not like going to be running full blast. So this is more or less just a holding tank to have fresh water on hand, and then any pressure it needs will come directly from this tank. So that's the reverse osmosis system. I have a 120 AC plug here for the hot water tank. I've got to run electrical for that. I'll need to run electrical for the induction cooktop as well. It's going to go right here, as well as an outlet for the fridge and freezer combo. I do plan on installing the breaker boxes or breaker panels, I believe, on this face down here. And as you've noticed here, I've got a nice set of stairs and a door that I also cut in. So that way I can get in and get out freely. So that's pretty slick. Some of the things I've got left here is I got cabinet doors, hinges, and of course probably going to use some springs of some sort, some gas springs. I've got some cabinet doors and drawers to install down here, as well as cabinet doors up here. Now I'm going to cut hatches. I'm going to cut hatches in the big parts of the covers, smaller hatches, so I don't have to pick out that big heavy part. I'll just cut out areas that I need to get to directly for storage, and then leave the other areas, you know, solid. I've got some more weather stripping I want to install for the doors, for the garage door, and then I need to reinforce the end of this door here. There is a slight bow in the end of the door, which is causing a seal problem when the door is in the closed position. So I'm going to reinforce this section here with a piece of angle iron. So that's coming up here in the future. I've ordered upholstery for the 2 bench seats and the backs. However, I made a rather significant error in my planning. Everything I designed for the bench seats was based on a mattress thickness. Now the person that are doing my upholstery work kind of shied me away from using a 10-inch thick mattress material, memory foam type stuff, and recommended I go with something more, you know, like 5 inches thick as opposed to 10. So what that's done is caused some significant issues with the current bench seats. What I need to do, what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna remove what I've done already here. I'm gonna take this bench seats out and rebuild them taller. Now, a lot of work went into these bench seats, and I thought I had it figured out, but in the end, it's probably a better idea that I go with a taller bench seat. It'll give me more storage. Anyways, it'll give me more headroom for my batteries and electrical system, and it's just probably going to be better in the end. The other issue I've got then is with the lower, shorter pipe sets that I have for the table. I'm going to have to reorder those too, because those aren't going to be tall enough to be flush with the top of this. So when this comes into a bed mode, you know, currently it's going to be here, and then the new bench is going to be here, and it's just not going to match up. So that's going to be the problem. So that's pretty much going to be my next move here, is removing these and rebuilding them some amount of inches taller. I haven't come to that conclusion yet. I've got to sit down and do the math and figure out exactly what I need to do to move forward with that. So that'll be my next thing. I'll probably film some of it, but I'm not going to go through all the whole spiel, because you've already seen me build these bench seats already, so they're going to be pretty much the same. There might be some subtle differences. I probably, because of extra space here, I'll probably put a hatch or a door here, so I can access this immediate area on both sides without having to lift the cushions up. So that might be handy for certain situations. But that's really the big thing that I've been kind of beating myself up over recently, is having to tear these out and redo the work that I've already put into it. But you know, end of the day, it's going to be better. It's going to still look good. I just had to gather motivation and, you know, will to get out here, which brings me to my next point. So before I can set a departure date, there are several things that need to happen before I can do that. One of those things is liquidating my assets and selling my home. Basically, once I have a closing date on my house, I pretty much have a departure date built right into that. Obviously, I want to have this van built and ready before that happens, which I'm pretty confident that will happen. But there is one other thing that is really holding me back, and that is I'm the legal executor to my parents' estate, my father's estate. And I'm waiting for the federal government to issue something that I've been waiting for since last spring, last year. And until I get that, I'm not able to settle and sign off on the estate and close it. And that means I really can't leave here, because everything comes to me in this location. And if I can't run the risk of moving and leaving here and having that information lost in the mail. So that's one of the big things. And for me to get out of here will really help me get more positive about things and start my life over again, per se, just get to a better spot. So until I get that from the federal government, I'm not able to close the estate and move on. Hopefully it'll come soon, but until the meantime, I'll keep working on the van, and then once I get it into a completed state, we'll definitely take it some places and have some fun, see what that's all about. So I'd like to end this video by once again thanking my friends Dragoness, Terrell, and Quirky for having my back, checking my videos, making sure everything looks good. And I also like to thank K-Train for his generous donation through PayPal several weeks ago. That is much appreciated. And if anyone is interested in supporting my journey, they can check out the links below the video, PayPal, or check my Patreon page, where you can pledge to support on a monthly basis. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check the links out below. Otherwise, thank you very much for everyone who's commented, everyone who's subscribed so far, and liked the videos. I appreciate it. It helps me stay positive, and helps me keeps me motivated to continue to do this, because I do enjoy this. I'm trying to get better, but it's going to take some time before I get a little more comfortable and whatnot. But expect some more videos coming soon. This is definitely a real-time update. As I stated earlier in the video, everything that has been previous to today, to this video, has been shot back in September, October, and November of 2021. So here it is, May 1st, 2022, and I'm getting back to the build. So hope you guys enjoy the future videos. If not, check me out, tune me in later. See you guys next week.